You probably found this video because you were in a relationship with a narcissist that has ended very recently. You were in the process of healing and getting back to yourself when you noticed the narcissist in your life has already moved on to another relationship. In fact, you found out that the relationship started immediately after yours ended. How could they have moved on so quickly? Even though the relationship is over, you're still heartbroken to find out that they were able to move on so quickly. Did you mean anything to them? You're confused and have a million questions. Well, if that's you, welcome to my channel, The Narcissist Revealed, where we discuss topics related to narcissism. Understanding the patterns of narcissism will give you a good understanding of these interactions so that you can better protect yourself in the future. So, does a narcissist get a new supply right after they hurt you? Yes, a narcissist will get a new supply right after they hurt you. This may leave you feeling hurt, lonely, and abandoned. While you're still mourning the loss of the relationship, they have already moved on to a new relationship. You won't understand it. You'll try, but you won't be able to make any sense of it. You'll begin to question yourself, the relationship, and your reality. How could they have moved on so quickly? Did they ever really love you? Does this mean you're unlovable? Why would they say they love you and then throw the relationship away like yesterday's trash? You just don't understand it. But there is a reason they find a new supply immediately. Narcissists use people up, and then when they don't need them anymore, they move on. They're not capable of true love, just the notion of it. Narcissists are extremely selfish and self-centered people who can justify anything. Well, let's think about the basics of a narcissist personality for a minute. A narcissist needs to be the center of attention, and they need admiration at all times. They feed off this like a vampire would on blood. It is their life source. Their whole identity revolves around this, and if someone does not admire them or give them the attention they believe they deserve, then they feel like they're losing their life source. It can be very stressful and upsetting to them, causing problems in their brain and making them feel like they're going crazy. So when a narcissist has a supply that's not giving them the attention they need, what do? Well, instead of swallowing their pride and trying to talk about what you're feeling and what they're feeling and how to make it better, which they're incapable of doing, they'll try to get your attention in any way possible. This can include arguing with you, making themselves a victim and playing off how upset and hurt they are, or they can quite simply move on to another supply. Hurting you is inconsequential because they lack empathy, which means they have a hard time putting themselves in someone else's shoes. They are incapable of loving you the way you love them. Instead, they love the attention you have provided them. The narcissist getting a new supply immediately after a breakup has less to do with you and more to do with them and their inability to be without their narcissistic supply. They are used to getting their narcissistic supply fix every day. So when the supply is suddenly taken away, whether the breakup is initiated by you or by them, they go into withdrawals. This causes them narcissistic injuries, which happen more frequently as the severity of their narcissism increases. Withdrawal symptoms include anger, depression, anxiety, numbness, and feelings of emptiness. Narcissists need their narcissistic supply to regulate their fragile, fluctuating sense of self-worth. The narcissist is incapable of feeling empathy towards others because they are so focused on themselves and how they perceive or feel about themselves that they cannot take the time to focus on anything else. They have no desire to change this aspect of their personality because it allows them to manipulate others more easily. The narcissist is a predator and always on the hunt for new supply, stopping at nothing to obtain it. This makes sense considering their personality disorder does not allow them the ability to form real relationships with other people. They also have no problem lying, bending the truth, or concealing the truth if doing so assists them in obtaining their new supply. When a narcissist experiences a narcissistic injury, the above-mentioned withdrawal symptoms, they cannot stop themselves from going out on the hunt for new supply to soothe their self-esteem and soothe their internal pain. They will go to extreme lengths to find this new source of narcissistic supply, even if it means lying and manipulating others who they perceive as vulnerable. Narcissists are generally very charismatic and charming during this part of their cycle because it assists them in getting what they want, narcissistic supply, even if it's at your expense. So you may ask, how are they able to find and fall in love with the new supply so quickly? When the relationship ended for you, you just wanted to take a break from dating and heal and can't understand how anyone would feel any differently. Well, the narcissist may have been able to move on so quickly because they were already communicating or dating the new supply while they were dating you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Narcissists are cheaters, and the chances are that you were cheated on throughout your entire relationship. If they weren't cheating physically, they might be doing so emotionally. I know many of you listening to this may think, no way, but hear me out. As mentioned earlier, narcissists need constant supply. This could be in the form of attention, gifts, adoration, praise, anything the narcissist perceives as a high-value resource. So while you were thinking the connection they have with the new supply has moved along quickly, it could have already been brewing for some time. And now that the relationship with you is officially over, they have the freedom to bring the new relationship to the forefront, or better said, they no longer have to hide the relationship they've already been having behind your back. To give you an example, my narcissistic partner and I broke up many times during the course of our relationship. Just to give you a taste of how little they care about your feelings, I have a quick story. My ex drove from Georgia to Maryland with the mother of his child for the mother's college graduation. The excuse he gave me was that he had to go because the person that had planned to drive with her had backed out at the last minute, and since his son was in the car, he didn't want her to drive all that distance by herself and risk getting into an accident. The plan was that they were to get separate hotel rooms once they arrived in Maryland, with the understanding that he would call me as he normally did when he was gone. Long story short, they did not get a separate hotel room as agreed upon. Instead, he told me he slept in a stowaway bed in the same room, even went as far as to send me a picture of him putting the stowaway bed in the room, which I'm pretty sure his son slept in. Go figure. He also wasn't answering my calls like normal, and when he did answer, he acted as though I was a coworker, which caused me to get irate and him to rush me off the phone. When he did call me, it was when she wasn't around, and again, he would rush me off the phone. Obviously, I broke up with him when he got back to Georgia. I broke it off officially on December 7th. His new supply, whole different lady, sent me a message on December 26th, the day after Christmas, telling me they had got engaged on December 8th. She knew about me and wanted to make sure we were no longer in a relationship. I'm telling you this story to further illustrate how narcissists have a very difficult time being alone. They regularly maintain multiple relationships at the same time, and they have no care in hurting your feelings to satisfy their needs for a supply. The narcissist uses their backup supply as a safety measure so they don't get caught off guard without a narcissistic supply. As they move forward with their new relationship, they may want to move you into the backup supply position so that they can have you to fall back on. Be very wary of a narcissist asking you to remain friends after the relationship has ended. Now, even though narcissists typically follow the same pattern, not all narcissists are created equal. They are still very much individuals, so they will not always have a backup supply, and there are some that may not engage in cheating behavior. If the narcissist doesn't have a new supply lined up and you cut them off by initiating the breakup, you will likely cause a narcissistic injury. Narcissistic injuries are very painful, and the narcissist will do anything to protect themselves from feeling vulnerable. So, if a narcissist doesn't have a new supply lined up as soon as you end it, they may become very obsessed with you in hopes that they will be able to get back together. If this is the case, they will go to great lengths to try to convince you that they have changed and that the relationship can be different this time around. I hope you're seeing a pattern here. It's not so much about you and your feelings, it's about the narcissist and their needs. They need something, anything to fulfill their need for narcissistic supply. So if that means getting a new supply immediately after the breakup or them refusing to let you go immediately after the breakup, what matters to them the most is that they are getting their needs met by any means necessary. If you are in this situation, you have to continue to move on and continue to educate yourself about the patterns of narcissism. It will help you to continue to heal and recognize these patterns in other relationships so that you can proceed with caution. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos below related to this topic. And now to the next video.